Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Friday, August 22nd. This will be a technical analysis breakdown, so if you're someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. First off, a couple of clarifications. Number one, the candlestick that you see right there will be moving around and changing. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. Second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So ticker symbol number one, APM, and what a mover today on this one. Huge bullish upside momentum, and it seems like nothing is necessarily slowing down right now. So the first level that I would keep an eye on moving forward, and what I would call the ideal level of support, I mean, if you say, hey, Clay, what would make this chart look the absolute strongest moving? Whoops. There we go. Let's try that again. But if you say, Clay, what would make this chart look the absolute strongest moving forward? That would be if the price could stay up above that trend line right there. Now, don't get me wrong. If the price falls below that, doesn't mean the chart's destroyed or ruined or anything like that. But yeah, in terms of best case scenario, that would be if the price could stay above there. Now, from an overarching standpoint and supports, just keep an eye on that purple line right there. The 50-period simple moving average. Keyword there being moving. So as time goes by, that line's going to move itself higher and higher and basically become an overarching trend line that draws itself for you. So again, assuming you care about the big picture point of view, then as long as the price is above that purple line, then all in all, the bulls are still in full ownership of the chart. As far as areas of resistance are concerned, no need to overcomplicate this. Just ask a very basic question. Where did the party finally stop today? And that was right up there at 448. So for that reason alone, like I said, very straightforward logic. That is where the sellers seem to be at right there. Again, 448, as that's where the bullish party stopped for the day. But all in all, strong movement, great volume. And we'll see if the price can maintain above that trend line. But if not, as long as it stays above that 50-period moving average, then the overall trend is still bullish. Next one here, OPEN. And things were looking a little shaky yesterday as the price came down to this area that I talked about in that previous video around 304 mark. But got a nice bounce today. And within the bounce has now formed a good solid pattern, which I want to get mapped out here. So there's the top part of the pattern. And then the near part of it is right here. So just make it a little bit more symmetrical. Let me bring it down here a little bit. Change that to green to represent support. And then just to make the pattern easier to see, let's all keep it the same color. So we have our area of resistance. We have our area of support. We have the nice upwards move right there. And then for you golfers out there, try to make it a little bit more visual for you. Put that golf ball down there. This would be a bull pennant pattern. Now, just because something's a bullish pattern does not mean for sure guaranteed it's going to go upwards. But is it valid? Is it logical to think that this thing consolidates out, comes up here and breaks through there, that break could create more buying pressure? Absolutely. Again, is that guaranteed to happen? No. Is that a valid question to throw out there? Absolutely. So if you like bull pennant patterns, you like this price range, keep an eye on it. Next one here, PTIX. And overall, the chart's hanging in there, but keyword there being overall, because I do understand that if you're a day trader, flipper, scalper, and you bought right there, or maybe you bought the dip right there, and your plan was to buy and sell within 10 minutes, well then yes, from that standpoint, the chart is looking very, very rough. But if you do care about the bigger picture, the price is still above the moving averages, especially that purple line, which I talked about previously. And, just from a general standpoint, as long as the price does continue to stay above that purple line, then big picture-wise, the chart is doing just fine. But again, I realize that is completely irrelevant to you if you're a day trader who bought right there or something of that nature. Or maybe you're just looking for setups and you're not even in this at all, but you like certain situations. And with this one, very, very well-defined trend line, which doesn't necessarily guarantee anything. But when you can identify a trend line that you got to think a lot of other people have probably drawn, then call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want. It can produce some, very dynamic movement. So no guarantees, but more than valid to think that the price comes up there, it could push up through that level. So like I said, if you like to play breakouts, keep an eye on that level right there, as that is a more than valid question to throw out there as a potential breakout area that might generate more upside buying pressure. If the pullback continues, then again, these must-hold levels are down there at that 50-period moving average of purple line, and then the 200-period moving average at pink line. Because if you think about it, if the price were to come down there and then break through both of those, at that point, you have the price going right back to where it was. And I mean, not to insult your intelligence, but price movements that skyrocket and then go back to where they were, not exactly a sign of genuine strength. Again, I'm not saying that's what's going to occur, but that is why those moving averages are definitely must-hold levels from that overarching viewpoint. Next one here, AEMD, and I'm going to go through this one a little quicker because you already heard me talk about this pattern, but this pattern right here being the bull pennant. So we have that area of resistance right there. We have that area of support right here. So the good news here is, I mean, the price is just knocking right on the door of the pattern itself. So let's get it mapped out though still. So we have our area of resistance, support. Nice move up right there. Maybe not the most beautiful looking bull pennant, but it's still there. You have the psychology, which is what matters, and the psychology of the price action is this. Big move up, pulled back, consolidated. Now it's just a question of will that consolidation lead to an upwards movement? We'll see what happens. But if you like bull pennants, you like stocks down below $5, here you go. Next one here, IXHL. And again, going to go through this quickly because you just heard me talk about it, but we have ourselves another bull pennant pattern. So top of the pattern right here at the 40.478 mark. And then the lower part of the pattern we have down here. So change that to green. And then just to make everything easier to see, because I know I'm kind of all over the place here with the lines, but we have our area of resistance. We have our area of support. We have the explosive move right here. We have the golf hole down here. So we are looking at another bull pennant pattern. I'd say the biggest difference here is this one happens to be a penny stock. So maybe some of you here only like to play penny stocks, but you do like bull pennant patterns. So if that is the category that you find yourself in, well, here you go. Keep an eye on IXHL. Real quickly, I want to address a potential problem that you may be having because it is a very common problem, and that is this. You'd like to be a day trader, but because of the pattern day trader rule, you can't be a day trader, and I'm defining day trader as having unlimited day trades every single day. So if that is something that you're interested in, again, being able to make as many day trades as you want every single day, then definitely check out the market and what I've been doing. There's been a link at the top of the screen. So if you go there, this will give you an opportunity for very little risk up front to enter into a market where there's no pattern day trader rule. The market's open 23 hours a day, 6 days a week. And quite frankly, the market moves way better than penny stocks and, small cap stocks anyways. But I do understand if you're skeptical. So that is why I'm also inviting you to check out and see this all live right before your very eyes, which is what I'm doing personally. So I put my money where my mouth is. This is what I'm doing, and you can come see it live as I've been live streaming every day. I start at 11 a.m. Eastern, and then I go for a few hours. So if you have questions for me or you just want to see this, how it all works, play out right before your very eyes, then definitely check out the live stream. Next one here, NIO, and once again, we have ourselves a bull pennant pattern. So in the spirit of respecting your time as much as possible, want to go through this quickly here. So there's our area of resistance. Actually, I might have lied. I did. I guess I did kind of lie. This is not quite a bull pennant pattern. This would be a bull flag pattern. So now, is the differences that much? It's not, but so there's our resistance. There is our support. There is a nice move up right there. So this one looks more like just a general overall flag. But as I mentioned earlier, don't get too hung up in the semantics because it's all about the psychology. The psychology here being big move up, bit of a pullback. Now it's just a question of can the price get the break in the upwards direction. So if you like stocks below $10, you like bull flags, here you go. Next one here, THAR. Did this in yesterday's top 10 video and overall has just continued to be a beast. Has broken above this area of resistance. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that level and just do the first update. And this update is based on a foundational rule in charting, which states when levels of resistance are broken and closed above, you want to see them act as support. So if this current pullback does continue more, then preferably speaking, best case scenario would be if this 406 mark can hold. But if it doesn't, then as I've talked about in a couple of these other charts, then from an overarching standpoint, just watch a purple line, which you now know is that 50 period simple moving average. So as that line moves higher and higher, as long as the price does stay above that, then from the overarching standpoint, the bulls are still doing just fine. In terms of areas of resistance now moving forward, key dynamic to watch is there has been a bit of a pullback right here. So keep an eye on that from any sort of reversal standpoint. And if the price can push up through there, again, no guarantees, but valid to think that that could generate some more upside buying pressure. Next one here, PLTR. And overall, not a hugely exciting day, but a healthy day. And that is based off of the fact that with a big bounce here, it always becomes, and this will mean a little bit more to those of you that have traded with more experience, but I'm sure you've seen situations where a price makes a great bounce and then totally rolls back over. And that did not happen today. Now, that doesn't mean that it still can't happen, but just the mere fact that it didn't drop as fast as it, kind of bounced is a good solid movement. So just to see the price simply maintain its gains. Again, maybe that's setting the bar kind of low, but given the context of how this thing's been dropping, and then you get a nice bounce, and then for it not to drop, but to just go sideways, again, still a lot more work that needs to be done, but a step in the right direction. So overall, I would consider today very, very bullish based on the fact that it was able to maintain and not just a question of can the price turn itself around and continue to show some upwards progress on Friday. We'll see what happens. Next one here, NVDA, and we have ourselves, yeah, you guessed it, another bull pennant pattern. So let's get this drawn into play. And I like when very well-defined patterns occur on stocks like this that are, I mean, NVIDIA, you could probably make an argument, is the most popular stock out there right now, the most talked about on a daily basis. But regardless, a lot of people watching. So when a lot of people are watching these areas, you can get, more, there's more likelihood of just those simple self-fulfilling prophecies. So just to map out the pattern, we have our area of resistance. We have the support. We have the nice upwards move here. We have the golf hole down here. So here's our bull pennant pattern. So keep an eye on this. That if it breaks out, there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. It would still have to push through the 50-period moving average and the 200-period moving average. But nonetheless, any sort of breakout of that bull pennant, you got to think puts it at least within the realm of reason that could generate more upside buying pressure. Next one here, TSLA Tesla. And this will mean a little bit more to those of you that watched the previous video. But if you did, hopefully remember me talking about that pink line right there now being a key area of resistance. And you can see that played out basically perfectly this morning. You can see the price hung up right around that area before getting rejected back down. But on the good news front, at least it didn't get rejected and then just keep coming down or anything like that. It did at least level out and then head back up. So that leveling out point is where I would put the first key level of support headed into Friday, just because, like I said, that's where that downwards move stopped. And what you don't want to see happen, because let me put it this way. Let's say the price just continues to respect this level. What would you have from a bigger picture standpoint? Well, you'd have a big set of lows here. You'd have that set of lows right there. And if you envision those as stair steps, well, at least now you have stair steps making progress in the upwards direction. So in many senses, that 318.50 mark is the quote-unquote progress point, meaning as long as the price stays above there, then you can make the argument that the bulls are making progress. And that's what truly strong moves are going to do. Nothing goes straight up, but you do at least want to see progress being made. So again, that's where 318.50 comes into play. If this thing's going to continue to bounce back upwards, then yes, as I started off talking about, public enemy number one right there at that 200-period moving average, currently valued at 325.20. So that wraps up the top 10 list. Again, if you are struggling and annoyed by that pattern day trader rule and you want a market where very little capital is required, but you get great upside potential because there's a whole lot of movement and a whole lot of just opportunity to trade since the markets are open so much, then definitely check out the link that you've seen. And if you want to move forward with it, use code CLAY to take advantage of promotions. But if you're still super skeptical, I understand. And like I said earlier, that's why I'm inviting you to just come check out the live stream. Come ask me questions, and you'll see all this play out right before your very eyes. And again, I live stream starting every day at 11 a.m. Eastern, and then I go for a few hours. So make sure to just subscribe and turn on notifications, and that way you'll be notified when I go live, and that'll serve as a reminder. So thanks for hanging out. Like I said, let me know if you have any questions, and hopefully I'll see you on the live stream.